Okay, I want to say it's me, Wushu Richard, back again. Get back once again for the Renegade Master. I've got some beats playing on the computer, and I want to say I'm a bit sorry for like mucking around, sorry for messing around too much in my previous videos, but sometimes I do have a joke and that, it's just me, okay. Anyway, in this video I've basically got my setup here, and I'm about to start drawing and painting as such, the background for this scene, okay, of this character standing up, because we need a background, okay. I'm going to create another layer, bring it far down to the bottom there, okay, and yeah, I'm going to make it well, let's see how we go. I decided to keep that black line. I was going to just make it a different shade, but I'm going to just keep it to be simple there, okay, to show the background. Sometimes I keep certain lines in certain background art. Okay, what I'm going to do now is make a duplicate of that, make it darker, very dark, and I'm going to, what should I do? Well, I know what I should do. I should bring that below this one. I'm going to keep the character there just for a reference for the character so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to go with an eraser, a thin eraser, hard eraser, and I'm going to, just for quickness, I'm going to choose the straight ruler thing, okay. Yeah, just to have that on for some guides. I don't usually do that. I like to go freehand with certain things, which you know how we do when I'm in the flow. Yeah, I'm doing it again, sorry, I'm joking around with the beats and stuff. So I've done a few lines there just to show what's what, okay. What's what and what's not. These particular walls are not supposed to have a lot of detail actually, they're just really like, it's just a few lines, like, you know, a few lines to show like markings like on the wall, like cracks slash whatever, you know, to show that they're like stone, whatever that is, stone slash metal or whatever walls. I want to turn the brightness down even slightly further to make them sharp a bit further. I'm going to erase. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to basically fuck it, I'll just set up some perspective there too. I think that's what I'll do. There we go. That's a nice quick way of doing some perspective there too. So, you know, get a few perspective lines there, and as I say, they're rough, they don't have to be straight. This is just showing some, you know, I can do a few off the other angle there, but you get the idea that this is like concrete kind of, you know, whatever. And then we can do a few lines up here, some stronger than others, you know, and then we can do certain things and show cracks and stuff. I don't want to make it over the top, I just want to make it a bit to the point, okay. Now I'm going to merge those down, work with the contrast a bit first to see a bit more what we've done there. See what I'm saying? Yeah, so with the contrast, now that shows a bit more. It's like almost like line art, you see. That's what it is, man. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean this area up here a bit. I do get a bit funny about certain things, so, oh god, that was way too big, my brush was too big there. So yeah, you know, just covering a few things, and even some things, okay, sometimes you can do certain things, like you can get a softer eraser and just like erase certain areas, you know, like paint over, you know. Hold on. Oh no, hang on, no, that's because I didn't merge it. Did I merge it down yet? No, I didn't merge it down. So I can make this slightly fainter, the line, you know, and then I can start painting slightly over certain things to make, you see, when I start adding those little areas where it just goes over the lines slightly, still shows the visibility a little bit, it makes them look like they're softer, almost like painted, like it looks more real, like some areas are stronger, some areas are not, and you just feel like it's not all totally drawn, you see, it's like a bit painted in. So I'm just basically finding different tactics now of like blending my drawing and painting, where you got drawings is drawing and painting is painting, but certain things you can work in various ways. And however you do this, you know, we want to just get the best results. Now the reason the character's still like in the light more or less is because you know, well, he is, so we need to make the rest of the background darker, you see. So duplicating that now, bringing this one down darker, you see, now we can work out where the light goes. And what I usually like to do here is I like to do various things. So I'm going to do a few tests first. Check my time on this on the clock. Okay, good. So excuse me, wrong, I should have the eraser. So okay, what shall we have? I think the best thing to do is have a soft eraser first. You've got a different thing for different scenes. I feel it just seems to be the way things go. Yeah, a soft eraser, you see, looks more natural, you see. Putting that, it gives a more gradualness about it, you see. And then that's there on this side, you see. We don't even have to have that much on the other side really, but we have a bit to make it look more natural, but more on this side, you see. Okay, and then before we do anything else, we're going to merge that down and then play with the contrast on that, you see what I mean. And then go in here until it looks about right, like for our scene at least, you know. But I think sometimes you need to go back and forth a few times to get this shit feeling right, you know what I mean. Yeah, you know, various things like that. See, that looks more like it, but the thing is, we want to make this whole scene a bit stronger. I think what it is we kind of made a bit of a boo-boo, I think, with the with those lines, with the line art, because now it's not looking strong enough, and we've got problems with the shading. So one way of doing this is like erasing everything, undoing all of what we just did basically with the painting of the light. Be a bit patient in ourselves, just start with one layer and let's work that contrast out first. We need to fix that contrast first. We have to do it. We gotta do that. You never knew that. So going in here, even if you got to do this, so now that looks really manga, you know, that looks really manga. And this is the kind of thing we really want in a way, but we're going to go with that, make it strong just for now. Oh, hold on. I think I just lost that, didn't I? Yeah. So I'm going to go in, okay, go for that, go to OK. Oh no, I don't think we did lose it, but okay, going to go for that, okay. And now we're going to turn that down. Oh, hold on. Turn the brightness down of that. I just played with the contrast basically just there. We're going to bring, you know, the contrast down, the brightness down, sorry, of this image, to make it make sense basically. I want to make it fairly darker because the walls are not supposed to be the same colour. They're darker than his clothes. Yeah. So. And I'm going to basically, I'm just going to pause this video while I go and check a reference image that I've made for another scene, which is top secret, I can't show you yet, but I'm going to check a scene to check the darkness of this background to make sure it's actually matching the other one, which I think the other one was much darker. Let me just go and check that, hold on for a second. Yes, okay, I'm back, sorry guys, I'm back. Yeah, okay, guys, hello again, I'm back. And I want to say, yes, I was right. The other background, the other image, was actually considerably darker. Okay, as opposed to this one, the walls in particular. So we're going to need to work with some darker walls. Okay, excuse me, some darker walls there. Make that slightly darker. Go with a softer eraser, and we'll just paint that light in again, how we did before. And make it just like it's light enough in the right areas, you see. Okay, there, that looks right. And the reason that's working now is because we upped that contrast. We had it too low originally. A bit more lighter towards where he is. Okay. And then we're going to go over here and erase a little bit of that. And it looks more like it, you see, it looks more of a 3D type thing. Merge that down. bring that now. Okay, now we're going to bring this down slightly. See, now when I do this, it looks more right, but you've got to be very careful, because sometimes you can end up with walls that look a little bit too shiny. We don't want this to look too shiny. It's kind of rough walls we want to go for. But either way, we've got what we've got now. I'm going to make a duplicate of this layer now. Make this one on top very darker, much darker, okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that below this one, and I'm going to start with a hard full opacity eraser, and I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to start to paint some shadow, okay. Basically erase part of this scenery to show shadow, and the shadow is not going to be too, it's got to be kind of like to the left, yes, but it's not going to be too much from the left. It's like down on an angle still, you know. And yeah, we'll just give it a bit of a shape. You don't have to have the whole thing there, you see, and that works. You know, you can have a bit of a lightness around it as well if you wish to. You know, there. You've got to be careful, because otherwise it will look to look like a hole. And there's our shadow. Now if you feel that the shadow's too dark, don't worry, because you can just up the level of the brightness there on the bottom layer there, and that makes it look a bit more real and normal, okay. So there we go. I can merge those two layers down now. Go on to I'll keep the same layer. I'll make another layer on top, and I'll choose one of these colours by pressing off from the whole canvas by pressing any layer, by pressing Alt on the keyboard, holding it down, and then hovering over an area and clicking. Okay, like that. And then you've got the colour. Make it full make it slightly lower opacity, thin brush. Sorry, and a slightly lower opacity. What we're going to do is we're going to zoom in and do a few like areas, just paint over a few of these areas here. It's not working too well, so we're going to choose a almost white colour. Give that a check on a lower opacity, yes. Slightly thicker, slightly thinner actually. Just do a few marks, you see. And these little marks sometimes do show up, trust me. Make it slightly thicker where you need to. You know, slightly lower opacity where you need to, adjust that. If you're not too sure and you're not too confident, adjust the contrast, the opacity, sorry, of the layer as well, the actual layer. So I'm going over this here. I might feel that's a little bit too bright, so I just bring that down. It doesn't matter that I've gone over some of the black lines a little bit either too, because you know, that's just basically making it look a little bit more realistic. This is showing little cracks here where light may hit, you know, and reflect off if you imagine it. Okay. What time are we on? Okay, good time. Good timing. It just brings up some more level of another level of detail, I think. And something that's not visible in the other scene of this, which you're going to see in the finished cartoon. One thing you're not seeing is an actual some more detail. Like I'm going to play around with that a little bit. Merge this down as one layer, okay. Make another layer, okay. And I'm going to start doing some little marks. And I've done this before with other things. Full opacity. I'm going to do some little black, dusty, specky things just around to make this place look a little bit, you know, like it's supposed to be rough. You know, there's like pieces of stuff around, maybe some rocks, not like little stones or dust, little marks and things. You know, this could be. And you can little dust marks on the wall. I'll do that in a moment or so, I think. We'll just have a few things here. We don't know what all this stuff is. It's just dirt and stuff here. And the good thing is a background like this is pretty simple to do. Now I'm going to make a duplicate of that layer and make it brighter, just bright enough to like merge with what we've already got there, but like dark enough to see. Then I'm going to have an eraser, and I'm going to go to erase certain areas on the right side of that. So if I zoom in, you if I zoom in, you'll see what I mean. Just going to erase even those small little specks and things, you see. If I give a few little you know, shadows and areas, it makes them look more realistic. With the darker layer underneath, I'll make that slightly brighter. You see, and now it looks almost like some rocks or something, some dust. See, okay, there. And underneath that, I can also do other things, like I can have another mark or some kind of marking, you know, like here. I'll show you. Just like this, and then make that. See, like a different kind of brush, I'm saying, you see. But that's kind of wrong, so I have like wider spacing on it, and turn the opacity down, you know, and then do a few things like that, you know, and just do a few marks. You see, it just makes it look a little bit more rougher, you know. I don't know, just some ideas I get from time to time, and I work on the wall with that now while we're here, just to make that look. See, that's a good practice. You can make it like a bit dirty, you know. Yeah, see, this kind of thing, you see, and it just gives an overall feel to this thing. You see, this is actually, I'll show you. This is this kind of a brush, you see. But we don't want. That's usually what I use for drawing trees and stuff. I can have a slight soft eraser to clean a few things up over here, but yeah, I think that looks okay. So I'm just going to basically, if I turn my character off for a moment, you can see what we've got. The shadows there, obviously, because that's where he stands, but that is another problem. I've just realised we've got a problem now, because we do have a problem now, because we need to fix that, because that's a problem. That is really a big problem, actually, because we shouldn't have that shadow there, so we need to fix that. So now you're going to watch another live problem fix, because the shadow's got to change, don't forget, for every scene. So that's alright, it's not too difficult. Looking at it now, it doesn't look too difficult. Let's fix this. Okay, so we've just realised that we need to fix a problem here that I've got with some shading. Okay, I'm just going to have to do this. I'm just going to use my normal brush and just get straight into this. I'm going to use a lot of selecting here with my Alt button. Okay, I'm going to choose. I'm going to go in, merge these two layers down. Okay, we need to change this background. It's quite hard to do, but it's not too hard to do. I'm just going to go in and choose some stuff. I need to basically paint over this shadow to make it like non-existent, basically, to the best of my ability, at least. Okay, because what's happened is that shadow should not be there. You know, what it basically is that shadow should not be there. It's okay, it's not too difficult to erase, actually, because if you look at this, there's like shading going on anyway. Don't worry about it. If something like this does happen, you've got to just take control of it, because you're the artist, you know what I mean? You are the artist, so you need to take control of things like this. I'm just constantly selecting different colours here, just try and clean up, so we're really seeing like real time here, me, you know, cleaning up a mess what I've just made. Be careful. Okay, so we're just doing a few things here. I really need to make sure that that is not visible though, you know. So, you know, going here, there's no shadow there at all. It should be like, you know, so fair enough. I've made a mess, but I made a mess. I did make a mess, but we're going to clean it up. It's darker on this side, so we want it to be darker on this side, that's right. And some of this shading is actually helping, you see. Some of this shading we're actually giving to this picture is actually helping now, because it's making it look a bit more rough, the ground. It doesn't look, you know, so bad, does it? Does it? You know, but I'm just saying, you know, so it's darker on this side, yes, anyway. And the character's going to be standing here anyway. Like if I stand him here, you see, which is not too bad when I look at it like that, okay? But you can sometimes panic, you know, about certain things, and panicing's no good. You might fall on the floor and start crying like a baby. You know, holding, when you got the pen selected, by the way, if you hold shift on the keyboard and you can make a straight line quick as that. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Okay, so we've got our picture basically fixed up. We're going to have it like that as it is. Okay. Okay, so that's basically what we've got. Okay, so our image. You know. Okay. If you want to do anything else, you could make like some more shadow over here, but I'm not going to bother. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go. I've noticed we've lost our little stones over here too, but it doesn't really matter too much. I think I covered them with the dust by accident, but that's okay. I'm going to turn off my character. I'm going to save this background. What we're going to have to do is add shadows in, and there's two ways of doing this. I can make various backgrounds with various shadows, or I can make various copies of the character images and add shadows onto those. Okay, I think what I want to do is I want to have various copies of this background to make it quicker, just painting them in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just name it anything for now, save this into this thing here. Okay, so I've got that saved as an image. Then I'm going to bring in each image and start painting shadows in for the character as he's standing. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.